Listen up here. The restaurant industry is grueling and unpredictable, just like this show, from the front of the house to the back of the house and all in between. We will turn up the heat, you turn up the volume. I'm Chef Antonio Caruana. Welcome to the Tell All Podcast, The Burnt Hands Perspective.
This podcast contains explicit and potentially offensive material. You've been warned. Now buckle up, bitches. Let's go. All right, special edition. We're back. World Food Championships.
Welcome to the Burnt Hands Perspective Podcast, something we love. We love the culinary arts. We love the culinary dream. We love the passion behind it all and everything it takes to make it all happen. Front of the house, back of the house, newspapers, critiquing, wherever it may be, which brings us into our next category.
Which is our next category. We have master judge, chef, social media influencer, host, MC, chefery, former chefery, all the list goes on.
And now moving into...
Critique. We're critiquing.
You're critiquing?
Well, I've been critiquing for a while, so yeah, people know I like to critique stuff.
Sure.
So if you go to my Instagram, it's at Anthony Martorina, and now I know we're live. Do I look there? Do I look at you guys?
We're not even live. We're recording.
Not live. I know.
We're not live.
Do I look at the camera or look at you
Whatever
guys?
you want to do. This is your show right now.
I'm going American Idol.
Yeah. And not only that, a lot of people are going to be listening on audio, so
Okay,
we're good.
got it.
No
We're
matter
good.
what you want to do.
Totally fine. You could have no clothes on right now. They wouldn't know.
So people who want to follow my food journey, it's at Anthony Martorina
Yes.
on Instagram. People will come up to me and say it's like a mini Food Network show.
It is.
It's under 30 seconds. It tells you about the restaurant. And what everybody loves about it is that they get to see a visual journey of that restaurant.
Yeah.
Whether it's Thai, whether it's Italian, whether it's Cambodian. Like it just showcases that and it gets out. It's not long. You're not watching me eat on camera. Do people really want to watch people eat on camera?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, some people do, and that's just a weird thing. But then they watch those food eating competitions. But I don't
sure
like
that's
that.
covered, though.
I don't.
People
Yeah,
who
I don't
watch
like
have
that.
already made their way in that world. You know?
Yeah. So they can't get out of that rabbit hole. They are people that have eaten. So
Sure.
I do get close sometimes on a few videos where it gets close, but then it cuts to my review.
Sure.
But
You cut out the good part.
Who wants to watch the chewing? No one. No.
Not really.
You ever find yourself watching cows in a field and go, "Oh, that grass looks good."
now you're working with a lot of different people, so you're based in Chicago, but you do travel everywhere. You bring the lights.
Well, you travel all over the world.
All over the world. Right.
Every country you've been in, hosting events and.
So I just got back from Germany. We gave away 9 golden tickets to the World Food Championships at Anuga, which is the largest food and beverage show. 144,000 people were there.
Wow. And that's in Germany.
In Germany.
That's crazy.
There was 11 halls. Can you imagine, this is hall 1, 11 halls. And what I found fascinating is there was a hall just for cheese.
Wow.
I walked in this hall.
You would be so happy.
I ain't leaving the cheese hall.
Oh my!
In the cheese hall all day.
Have you had cheese from Austria? I haven't.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I have cheese from Whole Foods, Aldi, Trader Joe.
Sure.
Austria?
That's amazing.
Well, the good, right, if you're not into a specific cheese shop that just deals with worldwide cheese, it's really hard to experience even a tenth of what cheeses are out there.
Yeah.
So every province, every town, every city, every kingdom, wherever you are in the world has their version of what dairy produces. And that's a lot of it. There's a lot of different variations. Hundreds of them, thousands of cheeses.
And I was at the Switzerland booth, and I love Swiss cheese. And she was like, do you want the light, medium, or heavy? I was like, wait, there's different levels of Swiss cheese? Mm-hmm. And so I tried all 3 of them. I kind of feel like I'm a medium guy. The heavy was too heavy.
Okay.
Real dark and moody, and I was
almost tannic.
Yeah,
tinny a little bit. Yeah.
So I was I couldn't believe there could be a whole hall of cheese. So
I'm so excited to do that. What we talked about even being here last year with World Food is for anybody who's in the culinary industry to step out of your box, get out of your own city, travel, go to other areas. I mean, you travel to Italy.
So I believe strongly, and I'm not saying it's impossible. People have been very successful without leaving their town. I get it. However, I think when you're dealing with a worldly international industry, you need to be worldly and international to understand it. It doesn't mean you have to take it all and change your concept, but I think you have to understand what's really going out there to emphasize your concept as being a dimension of it. You know what I mean? I think if you just believe that you make a steak and you're the only one making a steak and it's good and everyone thinks it's good, there's steak being made around the world a million different ways.
Yeah.
And if you can perfect the way you're doing it with the knowledge of how everyone else is doing it, it's just more knowledge to make you better, you know?
Yeah.
I one of the things I love about traveling is international spices. I love the flavors. I love those aha wow moments on my palate where I'm like, what is this? What did I just bite into? You know, what is that seasoning I've never had before, or that spice? Yesterday at Live Fire, I bit into someone shared a piece of meat, and I'm like, okay, salt, pepper, what's on there? And they're like, oh, we use Cambodian peppercorn. I'm like, what's Cambodian peppercorn? She goes, here, let me give you one. So like, if you bite like a black peppercorn, you're like, it's so like, it punches you in the face. It was amazing. It was soft, chewy, and then it just had like a little sweetness on the back end with a little bit of the pepper. And I no joke, I texted my wife, I'm like, we need Cambodian black
Google.
pepper.
We're going to
order,
Cambodia.
I know.
Where can we find this? We need to find this spice.
Totally. I sent her like all my notes on it. I'm like,
So
we need
cool.
this in our kitchen. So
That's amazing.
The hard part is like when I come home from like a competition like this, one of two things happen. First, my wife is not going to cook me anything because my palate, it takes about 3-4 days for it to get back to reality.
Sure.
We've just tasted so many spices, so many bites. We're like at the most international restaurant in the world.
Yeah.
And like your taste buds mine get confused. Like, wow, this is so amazing. And then you go back home and it's like reality. You know, it's like,
Yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, we're tasting the best of the best. People putting a lot of time and effort and money to come to things like this. And the podcast is fun here because we can talk about it live as a dynamic. We're in it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about something we were at or we are here right now.
Yeah.
And the smells are here and everything. It just brings such another facet and dimension to that talking about it. So people want to hear us talk about food. Some people tune in for whatever reason it is they're part of it, right?
Yeah.
But our part of it here at this time, if people are tuning in now, we're literally amongst some of the best chefs in the world who aren't even really recognized yet on a national level or international level, but yet their food is.
And sometimes
It's
winning
amazing.
here takes them. So your culinary journey specifically, how did you get into food? Because I mean, now you get to do the judging, the MC, which I think some people think is like the fun part, but it's a journey to get there. I mean, you have to know your shit. Like,
so I'll do the fast forward version. I'm Sicilian. So Sicilians, one of two things. We don't write down recipes, and I'm first generation. You go to Sicily, you watch your Nonna, you watch her cook. She doesn't write anything down. You know, she slaps your hand if you touch like a sample and stuff. But you're collecting all that knowledge. Growing up in Chicago, my dad built a professional kitchen in our basement. So
my
it was like,
As any true Italian should.
exactly.
If you don't have a basement, you have a basement kitchen, what are you doing?
I tell this to everybody, most Italians have two kitchens. One's the showpiece,
and one's the cooking.
and then one's the cooking one. It's either in your basement or it's in the garage.
Sure.
So if you don't have a basement, it's in the garage.
In the garage, yeah.
And so I'm so glad to meet someone that gets it.
Of
Because
course.
Everyone I tell, they're like, they give me deer in headlights. They don't get
You
the
put
two
the pot of
kitchens.
sauce downstairs in the basement, seeps through the floors.
Oh, God.
You wake up Sunday morning as a kid. You wake up at 11 o'clock, and you're smelling this already. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Every September, we would pick 10 bushels of plum tomatoes, and we would make enough jar sauce in the cellar of the basement that would last us the whole year.
Oh my gosh.
When I tell people I had pasta every night for dinner, I had pasta
Every day.
every night for dinner.
We did it more than lunchtime, but every day we had it.
Yeah. So you were doing the traditional. Your dinner was 2.
Yeah.
Ours was at 10.
Yeah.
Because we would work. I grew up in a book bindery. I don't know how I got in food from a book bindery, but it's a family
It's
business.
delicious.
So I worked in the book bindery.
Books taste like shit.
But we got home at 10 o'clock. We got home at 10 o'clock and we'd make dinner.
That's when you could eat.
And that's what we did. And that's where the kitchen was kind of my dad's stress release.
Okay.
You know, he would go down there, he'd spend an hour deboning a chicken,
Sure.
stuff it with like ground beef and rice, and I'd be like, okay, it's midnight. Let's eat. You know?
Yeah. But you did though, and that was wonderful.
And so that's kind of where I got my appreciation for food. Fast forward, I worked in TV, and then I started helping develop software for companies like Avid and Pinnacle and Adobe, and they started flying me around the world. So I became like this Steve Jobs guy where I'd be on a stage in China, 5,000 people, telling them about film software, editing an episode of Lost, showing them all the features. Well, now I'm in China for 3 weeks. I'm eating street food. Wow. I'm going to restaurants. Nothing like this tastes like Chicago.
Yeah.
Every Chinese restaurant in Chicago is Chinese American. So now I'm coming back to Chicago. I'm like, I can't eat there. I'm looking for the mom and pops. I'm looking for the duck feet, and I'm looking for the, and I'm like, gnawing on duck feet. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It reminds me of China, you know?
Oh.
And so what happens from there then is, as the iPhone put me out of business, because now everyone had a high definition editor and they didn't need like a $1 million room full of equipment, TripAdvisor called and they said, hey, we do hotels, you're the food guy. I had 50,000 photos of food from around the world.
Oh my gosh.
I was doing social media before anyone was doing social media.
Sure.
So it was kind of self-serving. So like in Panama, like I found a street vendor that made the most amazing Venezuelan empanadas. I would put a pin, I would put photos, I'd write a description. He was never on the Google map, but now he's on the Google map, you know? And recently Google will tell you things like 1 million people looked at this empanada place, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I put this guy in the map. He doesn't know who I am, but I put it there because every time I go to Panama, I want those empanadas.
Sure.
We were there on Christmas Eve when we found this place. There was a line down the street. I looked at my wife and daughter, I go, that's where we're having Christmas Eve.
We're going there.
We're going right there. They're like, but the line's so long. I go, the line is telling you everything. Plus, it's Christmas Eve in Panama and nothing's open.
Yeah.
Right.
And, oh my gosh, they were the best empanadas.
But that story is amazing, and that's what we love talking about on this podcast, is talking to people who travel and actually can tell them stories, and the passion you're having it. No one can really understand it. We can feel your passion, but we can't understand it for you, right?
Yeah.
And you're projecting it out to us. And it's beautiful, right? It's a great thing. It's all about food. It's just crazy how food can do that to somebody who really loves food.
And I do. I love food. And not only, so the thing is not only do I go out to eat, we cook at home.
Yeah.
Like we literally, I mean, and my wife hates the story, but I'm going to tell it. So my wife,
we won't tell her about this episode.
No, she's
already, gonna listen to
she's already on to you.
Oh, she's so on to me.
She's on to you, bro.
We're dating. She made me dinner. Now I'm getting into my culinary judge days, right? She made me dinner. I tasted it, and I had that Seinfeld moment.
Oh no!
Do I tell her or do I not tell her? She said, "How was it?"
Did you spit it out?
I didn't spit it out. She goes, "How was it?" I said, "Did you taste this?" She goes, "No, why?" And I said,
"Oh no."
When you make food for somebody, you have to taste it before you serve it to them. It's your last chance to fix it. And she still married me.
Oh my gosh.
But now I want to fast forward. So she said, can you teach me how to cook in the kitchen? And I said, yes. So she would cook and she would go, okay, you got to come in and taste this. The rule was I showed her how to fix it.
Sure.
After 2 or 3 weeks, she wasn't inviting me in the kitchen anymore. I think she's a better chef than me right now.
Wow.
I truly think she's a better chef than me. I love to tell the story because, like, people that are afraid to cook, like, don't be afraid. I have a cousin who's Sicilian, and she didn't cook at all, right? And it's so cute because now she's like on a barbecue team in California. She's competing and stuff. And like she wrote to me and she's like, you were my inspiration because you said to me, we're Sicilian, we're supposed to cook. And I just let everybody else do the cooking. But the thing is, my job is to inspire people. You know, I'm like Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Everyone can cook. I'm the little mouse in the hat.
You're helping
right now.
them.
Everybody can cook. I believe the same thing. Everybody. I can teach anybody to cook.
Yes.
You just gotta taste it. You know what's good food.
Yes.
And then have fun with it in the kitchen. It doesn't have to be about following the recipe. It's following what you like to taste. So you can start with the recipe and go, oh, I want to throw that in. I want to put this in. You know? We made potato salad 3 nights ago. We didn't have any pickles, and my wife loves pickles in there. And so she looked at me and she's all like, what about if we throw some hot giardiniera in there? I'm like, that's a pickle. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Caruso's hot giardiniera. My buddy Peter's going to be so happy. It's a family from Chicago during the pandemic. They said, let's put our family giardiniera in a jar. We're all going to die. So let's get our family jar out there. Maybe they'll find
we
it.
only have weeks left.
This is our legacy.
Curve. We're not ahead of the curve.
And let's go back to critiquing. So Peter and his family gave me the first jar. What do you think? And me and my wife both said, it says hot on there. You got to take the hot off because nothing's hot about that. And they were like, oh. And so a year later, they had a family party where I thought they're going to whack me and my wife. And they told everybody at the party, thanks to their honesty for telling us, it's now hotter because they cut the peppers at a different angle, which made it 30% hotter. And now it's hot giardiniera.
Wow.
Sure.
You know? So going back to the whole culinary judge, I'm pretty honest. You know, and the chefs in Chicago know that. So they'll invite me in to try their fall menu.
Yeah.
They want me to try it before it goes live because I will tell them this works, that doesn't work. You know, they would rather have a critique from me off the table than someone going on Google or Yelp or TripAdvisor and blasting it.
Exactly.
You know, after the fact, it's too late. Once it's out there, it's printed. So that's kind of, and so then my culinary journey started like this. I was judging a competition. I was on the microphone, and the person who was hosting it said, I never saw you on stage, but all I did was listen to you. You have such a great voice. Would you like to host? And I went, sure. And that's how it started.
Why not?
So I started hosting, and I started judging. And I judge like beyond World Food Championship. So like Marriott Hotels does Masters of the Craft. So Masters of the Craft is a really cool thing where the Marriott chefs and mixologists all go head to head regionally.
Oh, cool.
And so they do their own internal like World Food Championship to reward their chefs, which is amazing because when you think of hotels, you think, oh, they don't have any creativity. They're building creativity. Like 10 years ago, I would never eat in a hotel restaurant. I'll go eat in a hotel restaurant now because they are serving good food.
Sure.
You know,
they don't have a choice at this point.
Yeah.
They have to step up.
They want to keep you in the hotel.
And a lot of hotels are realizing that, and they're putting a lot of emphasis and money into the restaurant, which means they're hiring chefs to come in.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of people that have nothing to do with that hotel that are going to the restaurant in the hotel and then going back home that night.
Yeah.
So it's important, and it is. And back in the day, if you look at it when Michelin started and got popular, a lot of these Michelin chefs were directly in a hotel. A lot of these hotels did have it. Then it went away, like you said. And now it's coming back, which is great.
And which is interesting because there are several chefs in Chicago I know that are really good chefs and Michelin star, and they have their own restaurants. And then for me to find out they worked at the Four Seasons in the Peninsula, and I'm like, wait a minute, you were a hotel chef?
Yeah.
You know, like
It's surprising how many are.
yeah,
There's a lot of it. Yeah, it's great.
But you think of those hotels like Peninsula, Four Seasons, we're talking like French techniques. We're talking
Sure.
like 4-star food, top creme de la creme.
Amazing.
I never let a. We're not talking about a motel. We're talking about a resort hotel.
Nice high-end hotel.
I would say that don't ever sleep on that.
No.
There's a lot of invested money from that group.
Yeah.
And
to put their
training.
faith
Yeah.
in that hotel. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of
and-
hotels base it around the experience of dining. You know,
Exactly.
I want to also tap in our last few minutes your social media side of things, because you do talk about, building your brand, influencing. You do a lot of education on that too. And I liked what you said in the beginning that, you keep it short. So you do have kind of an unfair advantage because you knew the editing and you were in the TV world, which is, that's my background too.
Yeah.
So it does help when you're doing social. It's not as stressful to you. But what are some things for people that are building, in their kitchens? You have you kind of have a structure to how you present on social media. So do you mind sharing some of that?
The first thing on social media is engage.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to be viral, and everyone's going to love me. You have to build up your followers. So I write to my followers, I DM, I write on their walls. When they post something nice, they write on my walls.
Yeah.
That engagement is the most important thing. It's taken me 10 years to almost get 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
I didn't buy a single one. I went the long route on that, which is now paying off for me because brands that hire me to work on a
You
project
have higher conversion rates on stuff.
because
Yeah.
they now run everyone's numbers through.
Yeah.
So the guy that bought 500,000 and he's got less than 1%.
Yep.
They're coming to me with 20,000 and they're literally like, oh yeah, here, how much you want to charge us?
Yeah.
Because they know the engagement rate is really, really high. So that's the one thing I say, engage, I have the film background, so it makes, it's really easy for me to edit all that together because I'm editing it.
Ringer.
So I'm editing it here.
As you're filming
As I'm
too.
filming.
Yeah.
let me ask you this just as we close out here.
Sure.
For the chef's point of view, the culinarians, there's a lot of younger chefs now that we have lost the magazine write-ups, the actual food critic in the newspapers. All that has gone away and it moved off to a lot of influencers who kind of diluted the importance of them because there's so many of them. They don't know who's what, who's important, who's not, whose word is good. It's hard now, right?
Yeah.
What do you tell the chefs? What are you looking for as a critic, not an influencer, but as a critic? What can a chef now look at and say, okay, they're not looking to be influenced, they're looking to critique? What are you looking for as a critic to let them step their game up as a chef?
And so what's interesting is I never ask to go to a restaurant. Chefs always come to me. So obviously they're finding me for a reason. I say be genuine. Genuine, first of all. Don't be buying likes and followers because it makes it really unreal. show your face. Like, one of the things is I talk on my video right at the beginning, and people say, I feel a lot of comfort with that. I know what I'm about to watch, even though I've only said one sentence. I write that sentence based on what I'm about to film when we shoot this.
So you utilize those first 3 seconds with the hook, and you have the same open on your videos so people know what's coming.
And that's what I think the chefs like. They
Consistency.
Like that. And then I always like to tell people it's like an MTV music video, because like we all grew up in the 80s. So my whole thing is like, instead of me just talking underneath the video, we're gonna watch some cool music with some good visuals, maybe a couple of effects. I don't go effect crazy, but like, I want the food to like shine right now.
And what do you suggest to them as far as when you're tasting their food? Are the chefs putting together the elements? What is it you're looking for in the food itself, not so much the venue?
I'm always looking for those wow moments, the aha moments, like, oh my gosh, I've never had this before. You know, like chicken skewers. Always are dry, but lately I've been hammering chefs and like they're brining them now and stuff like that. So like now I'm getting like chicken skewers that are moist and juicy. I'm like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah,
this is something I would never want to order on a menu. You know, I think it's important for chefs to find people that are real. And the influencers out there aren't gonna, like I said, most of them write restaurants and say, oh, I can do this for you. They make a lot of promises. I've never written a restaurant. I've never written one at all, and I'm never gonna write one. I don't like rejection. Who likes rejection?
Sure.
I don't want rejection. So
I want to be invited.
The sad part is, the scary part is like, I got about probably 300 restaurants that want me to come in, but I don't go out to eat every night. I pick and choose. Are you having an opening and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or do I have a rapport or a friendship with the chef? And he's a mom and pop place. I love mom and pop places. They really need our help. Especially in this market.
So you did build your social influence on ethical eating.
Yeah.
I mean, ethical support. You're not bashing people.
No.
Yeah. So I think that's important. We've covered it in a couple episodes where we've talked about social media as an influence for restaurateurs and chefs. And people you do want to check out your page and just kind of go through what he's doing, because it is very, very strategic and it's consistent.
And I always write a review.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing the chefs really like, is the review on there. That review tells them about the dishes I've had. If there was a bad dish, it won't be shown in the video, and that chef will get notes on it, where they will actually fix that dish, and they might say, hey, can you pop in and just try it again?
Try it again.
And I'll just pop in, no cameras at all, and I'll try it and I go, oh my gosh, wow. Well, and I love having that influence on the chef, because I want everyone out there dining to have a 4-star experience.
So do we, and that's our thing. So in closing, why don't you slowly and project where you can be found, all the stuff, because you are influential. You do have a lot of reach. A lot of people know who you are, and I think more people should know who you are.
Yeah, in the culinary space, we want them to kind of follow and get on.
I like how he said slowly, because I'm Sicilian.
You'll talk faster?
I was talking slow.
I can understand you.
I know, he does that. I feel so. You're in the middle going, what's going on?
I am Sicilian too, but just very little.
It's at Anthony Martorina, Anthony Anthony, Martorina Martorina. When I made the name, I wasn't gonna be like, eat with Anthony. That puts you in a niche. So it's just my name, because that's who I am.
Yep.
And I've always been Anthony Martorina.
Searchable.
And searchable.
That's me, Chef Tony Caruana, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. You go with your name. I'm not trying to hide behind anything.
Sure.
So.
All right, well, it's been an awesome time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for
having us. I know we're all busy here today at the championships. You're doing a lot of speaking. We are doing a lot of speaking, so things are going on. So let's close it off. What do you think?
I think we're good. All right. Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks for
All right.
All right. Awesome. Ciao for now.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening.